Good morning. Welcome all the students to the next session in Python. So we are discussing this from the last three classes, and I think this may be the last class of discussing about data types. Right? So so we have already completed the numeric type, and then we have completed the sequence type also. And in the last class, we have completed the Boolean. So in today's session, we are going to see about the set data type in Python and the dictionary data type in Python. When both these get completed, so the Python data types topic will be completed. So in the next session, we are going to see about the expressions or the operators in Python, right? So let us start the things with this set data type in Python. Right? So in Python, set is an unordered collection of data type, right? So it is an unordered collection of data type. So in the previous sessions, we have seen about list and tuple, right? We have seen about list and tuple. So both list and tuple, both are ordered collection of data types. So list and tuple both are ordered collection of data types. For example, if we have mentioned something with the square brackets, then it will be a list. If we have mentioned something with the normal brackets, then it will be a tuple. So for example, if I mention something called as 10, 20, 30. So if I mention something called as 10, 20, 30, so the index will be provided for each and every number. So 0 index will be provided for the first number, one index will be provided for the second one, and 2 index will be provided for the third one. At the same time, -1 index will be for the first one from right to left, and -2 index will be for the middle one, and -3 index will be for the first one. Because these two are the ordered collection of items, we can have index values. But here, set is a quite different, where the set is an unordered collection. In list and tuple also, we can have the elements of different data types, and at the same time in set also we can have the elements of different data types, right? So see here, the order of elements in a set is undefined, right? So it may consist of various elements. So we may have different types of elements, and there will be no order for the elements inside a set. So let us see how we can create a set, right? How we can create a set, how we can have elements in that set, and how we can access that elements from that set. So sets are usually created by using a built-in function called as set. So if we want to create a set, we need to make use of this set function. So if we want to create a list, we have given something called as a equal to multiple number of elements within the square brackets. And if we want to create a tuple, we have given some a equal to some elements within the normal parentheses or normal braces. So if we want to create a list, we have to provide the set function at the RHS side. So set, and within this braces, we have to provide the elements. So if you have set on the RHS side, which means we are going to create a set in Python, right? So in that set, right, sequence, we provide some sequence of elements which are separated by comma. So here the elements will be, for example, 1, 2, or some CSC string, etc. So we provide certain elements within the built-in function set. So each and every element is separated by a comma. So type of elements need not be of same type. So here also, there is no condition that we can only have integers. There is no condition that we can only have the floating point numbers, or we can only have the characters or strings, etc. We can have the combination of integers, floating point numbers, or we can have the combination of strings, characters, etc. So various mixed up data types values can be passed into the set. So similar to the list and tuple, this set was also created. List was created by the square braces. Tuple was created by the normal braces. Set was created by a set function. All these three data types, multiple elements will be kept, and those multiple elements in list and tuple are an ordered collection of elements, but the multiple elements inside a set was unordered collection of elements, right? Where the set was created by using a set function. See next one, how we can access the elements inside the set. So if you recollect the information from the list and tuple, so if we create a list, for example, if we create a list with 4 items, those 4 items will be stored inside the memory location with 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index. If we want to access the first one, we can provide 0 index. If we want to access the last one, we can provide 3 index. But here in sets, set cannot be accessed by referring to an index, right? This is why, because sets are unordered items. Sets are unordered items and has no index, but you can loop through the set items using the for loop, or ask if a specified value is present in a set by using the in keyword. So I will explain how we can access the elements of a set after explaining the for loop in Python. The for loop in Python is different from the for loop in C programming language. Working is not different, but the syntax is a bit different. I will explain it with after the explaining about the for loop. And at the same time, there is one keyword called as in keyword. In keyword, that in keyword will be explained in the topic of operators. So we will start the operators topic from the next class. So I will explain both the things after completing the explanation of for loop and after completing the explanation of in keyword, right? So till now, let us see how we can create a list and how we can print the element of the list. How we can create a set and how we can print the elements of a set. And it is not possible to access a particular element in a set, because when we create a set, the elements in the set will not be provided with the index values. So if there are no index values, we cannot access them individually, right? So let us see the things. So for explanation of set, I have taken the online Python compiler. So now let us see. So if I want to define a set, what I have to do here is, for example, my variable name is A equal to, I need to write the set function at the RHS side. So if I do this one, right, if I do this one, which means we had represented an empty set, right? So if I print variable A, if I print this variable A, print of A, if I run the code, then it is going to print an empty set, right? So if I want to represent a single item in a set, for example, something called as B equal to set, and within the set, I can have the values of any types. I can have the values of integers, I can have the values of floating point, complex, strings, characters, etc. So B equal to set of something called as CSC, and if I use the print function to print the B, right? If I run the code, right? If I run the code, so the things which were given, right? The things which were given inside the set or distributed like a single characters, and there is no specific order. We have provided C followed by S followed by E, but when we print the set, they are represented as S, C, and E, right? So there is no specific order, and when I run the program again, the set was printed on the output screen as SEC, right? So now if I run it again, now it has printed something called as C, E, and S. So the things which were represented inside the set will do not have any order. So the order will be taken by the compiler during the runtime. So the output of the set may not be same in two different computer systems, right? So keep the things in your mind. And one more thing is that set do not encourage duplicate values. For example, I have mentioned CSE, and if I have CSES, so then if I print B, I have to get 4 values: C, S, E, S in any order, because set do not have any order. So we need to have S double time. So if I run the code, still I am getting S for only once, because although we represent some string, or although we represent something couple of times or 3 times, but it will not be taken by the Python compiler, right? It will not be taken by the Python compiler. So sets do not encourage the duplicate values. So this is how we can represent a string. Now what we have to do in order to represent multiple values inside a set. So if we want to represent multiple values inside a set, we need to combine the set with the list, right? We need to combine the set with the list, or we need to combine the set with the tuple, right? So please don't write unnecessary lines on the screen, right? So see here, I want to create one more set of 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my set here, right? Now I want to print the set on the output screen. So if I print the set, I have given the elements in an order of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, just a second. We need to provide them as strings. I'm sorry, as I said earlier, if I want to represent the multiple elements inside the list, inside the set, I need to provide list. So if I provide list in the sense, we need to provide some square brackets. So if I provide this one, then it is going to run the program correctly. So in a set, right, if we mention one string, the items in that string will be treated individually, where we cannot predict the order of the items. At the same time, if there are duplicate items, those duplicate items will be removed while printing the particular set, right? If you want to mention multiple values in a set, we need to combine the set with the list or set with the tuple, right? So if I write C equal to set of a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, and when we print the list C, it has printed 4, 2, 1, 3. We cannot predict the output of the sets, right? Because the items in the sets are unordered. So if I run the code, I may get a different order. Now you can observe here, I got 3, 2, 4, 1. If I run it again, I may get one more different order, 4, 1, 3, 2. Right? Even though we have provided the numbers in an order, but when we print the list or set, it has printed in a different way, right? So this is all about set, right? This is all about sets. And let us see what will happen if we have some duplicate values here. For example, I have mentioned that CSC, comma, here AIML, comma, DS, and if I have mentioned one more CSC here, so in the output we are expecting CSC for the couple of times and AML for one time and DS for one time. The order, we cannot predict the order as we discussed earlier. So now if I run the code, so I got DS, CSC and AIML. I don't get the CSC again. As we discussed earlier, duplicates will be removed in the sets. We cannot have duplicate values, right? So this is how the sets will be. So if we remember, I will explain briefly about the set. Don't get confused. Set was a bit confusing. So see here, if you want to represent a set, see here, if you want to represent a set, use the function set at the RHS side. So if you want to represent a variable, you have given a equal to 10. So the RHS value is integer. So the data type of the A variable will be of int class. If we want to represent a floating point variable, we have given A equal to 10.50. 10.50 is a floating value. That's why the data type of variable A will be of floating type. If we want the A of complex type, then we provide something called as a real value plus imaginary value. And similarly, if you want to make it as a list, we provided square braces. If you want to make it as a tuple, we provided normal braces. If you want to make it a set, then provide the set function on the RHS side, right? If you provide the set function, which means we are declaring a set data type in Python. So this set data type is an unordered collection of items. So if you represent something called as B equal to set of something called as AIML, and if you print B, right, if you print B, the entire elements will be distributed individually, and we cannot predict the order. We cannot say that print of B statement is going to print A followed by I, followed by M, and followed by L. We cannot predict the order. If I execute this one, if you observe, it has printed A, M, L, I. And similarly, we cannot have multiple values inside the set. For example, some C equal to set of, right, C equal to set of 1, 2, 3. And then if I print C, if I run the code, I got some error at line number 4, right? So set expected at most one argument. So which means we are allowed to pass only one value to the set function. We are not allowed to pass multiple values. What we have to do, if we want to pass multiple values, simply make it as a list. Make it as a list. Now the entire list, which means the entire list will be of a single value. So the list is taken for the set function. The list is taken for the set function. If you print this one, right? If you print this one, we are getting some correct output, right? So what happens if I provide one more list here? What happens if I provide one more list, right? We are going to get an error. So we are allowed to pass a single value, or we are allowed to pass a one dimension list, or we are allowed to pass a one dimension tuple. We are not allowed to pass multiple arguments or multiple parameters for the set function, right? So this is all about the set function, and at the same time set function do not support the duplicate values. So if you have given something called as 1 2 3 2, then we are expecting 2 for a couple of times, but it will not be printed couple of times. It will be printed only for a single time, because the 2 will be removed because it is duplicate. Okay, so next one. So I will explain about this for loop. See here, it has stated that we cannot access the individual items of a list, but we can iterate all the items. So we cannot access the individual items of a set by using index, but we can iterate them by using a for loop, right? We can iterate them by using a for loop, and at the same time we can find whether a particular item was found in the set or not by using a keyword called as in keyword. I will explain about for loop and in keyword. After that, I will combine the topic of sets with for loop and in keyword, right? So next one, last one, dictionary. So similar to the set, dictionary is also an unordered collection of data values. You use it to store data values like a map, right? So in sets, there is no index, or we cannot access the values, access the individual values. If you want to print a set, the entire set will be printed. We are unable to access the individual values. Here the dictionary is that we are going to have a map. We are going to have a map. So the dictionary is having some key value pairs. So the dictionary is having some key value pairs. So each and every value inside the dictionary, right? Inside the dictionary will have certain key, right? Let us see how the dictionary will be defined in a Python. So if we want to declare a dictionary data type in Python, use these type of braces. Use this type of braces. In between these braces, there will be some key value pairs. There will be some key value pairs. Remember, all the keys must be of integers only. All the keys must be of integers only. And we can have any type of values. We can have integer values, we can have a character values, we can have string values or complex values, etc. But the key should be an integer and the value should be of any type, right? So each and every key value pair is separated by a comma. Key and value pair are separated by colon, right? Say here, let us complete the theory first and then we can go to the program. It is an unordered collection of data values, right? Where the values are stored like a map, right? So which, unlike other data types that hold only single value as an element, so dictionary holds key value pair. Key value is provided in the dictionary to make it more optimized. So more optimized in the sense, in the previous topic, that is while creating a list, we are unable to access the individual items. But here in dictionary, we can access the individual items by using the key and value pair. Right? See here, each key value pair in the dictionary is separated by a colon. So if we want to represent a key and if you want to represent value, in between we need to provide a colon. So keys and values are separated by colon, whereas each key is separated by a comma. After completion of this key value pair, if we want to represent another key value pair, we need to separate both these things with a comma. And all these things are represented within the flower braces. Right? This is how we represent a dictionary in Python. So let us see first how dictionary is declared in the Python, and we can see how we can access the elements of the dictionary. Right? So A equal to, within the pair of these flower braces, represent some key value pairs. For example, one is a key which is going which is having the value of CSC. See here, I have separated the key 1 and the value CSC with colon. And if I want to represent one more key value pair, I have to use comma, and then the key is 2, and for the 2 the value is AIML. And if I want to represent one more key value pair, again I have to use comma, the key is 3, and the value is that data science, that is DS. So this is how we represent the dictionary. So this is how we represent a dictionary. So in this now what is going to happen in the sense, inside the memory was divided into 3 blocks, and the name of the memory will be A, because on the LHS side we have given A, and the index values will be 1, 2, 3, because we have mentioned the key values 1, 2, 3. In the 1 it will store CSC, in the 2 it will store AIML, and in the 3 it will store DS. If we want to print AIML, we have to provide A of 2. If we want to print DS, we have to provide A of 3. Right? So this is how, right, this is how we can print elements at certain index. Right? This is how we can print the elements at certain index. Right? So let us see the output of this one first, and then we can see how we can access the elements of this dictionary. So if I print this one, it has printed the entire list. If I print A, it has printed 1 CSC, 2 AIML, 3 DS. And what I want to do, if I want to print AIML, it is simple, as we studied earlier also. Simply provide A of 2, because AIML has the key value 2. So if you print A of 2, it will print AIML on the output screen. So see here, it has printed AIML. Now let us see, not only strings, we can have some values, right? We can have some values, or we can have some floating point values, or we can have some complex numbers also inside the dictionary. So see here, I have taken 3 values, 10 where the key is 1, 10.50 where the key is 2, 3 plus 2j where the key is 3. So I have combined the integer values, floating point values, and complex values inside a dictionary. So in the dictionary, the elements need not to be of same data type. But what we have to do here is, we have to use the flower braces. We have to use the key value pairs, where the key and value should be separated by a colon, and key value pair should be separated by a comma. Right? So, and there is no condition that we have to maintain the ordered keys. There is no condition to maintain the ordered keys. We can have the key 10 here. We can have the key something called as 3 here, and we can have the key 1. So if I use the key 1, 10, and 3, even though it will run the program successfully. But we got some error at line number 2, because we try to access the key A of 2, but unfortunately there is no A of 2. There is A of 1, there is A of 10, there is A of 3, but unfortunately there is no A of 2. So for this line number 3, we are getting error. If you don't want to see error, just use A of 10. It will print the value at 10 index or 10 key successfully. So we have to maintain the key value pairs. Those keys need not to be of ascending or descending type. We can have the keys in any order because the dictionary is an unordered collection of items. And let us see whether we are able to define the negative key values. Right? Even though we define the negative key values also, this dictionary is going to support, because list is supporting negative indices, tuple is supporting negative indices. That's why dictionary is also going to support the negative keys also. Right? We can have entire keys with the negative symbol. Right? So here we got the error at line number 10 because we have changed the key to -10 and we try to access +10. So if you use -10, then the program is going to be executed successfully. Right? So we can have integers, either negative integers or positive integers as keys, and we can have any data type as values, right? But we cannot have characters, right? We cannot have characters as key value pairs. So we are getting some error at line number 1, right? So let us verify whether we can have characters within double quotates as keys. Let us verify. So if I run this one, right, if I run this one, now it is going to support even the characters also as keys, right? Even the characters also as keys. See here, if I have written 10 plus 2j, so the key is 10 plus 2j. Now let us run the code, right? So even though we mention a complex number as a key, it is going to support. So let us verify. Let us verify something called as 10.50. So even though you mentioned 10.50, it is accessing. I'm sorry, as I said earlier, keys should be of integers, not like that. Keys can be, I think in the previous version, I have seen that keys should be of integers. Now keys can be of any type, values can be of any type. So if we want to access the values, we have to provide the right key. So if I want to print 10, I have to provide something called as A of 10.50. A of 10.50. Now it is going to print 10 on the output screen. If I want to print 10.50 on the output screen, then I have to provide B. If I provide B, it will print 10.50 on the output screen, because B is the key for the value 10.50. Right? So this is how we can declare a dictionary, and this is how we can have the keys for every value inside the dictionary, and we can access the values by using certain keys. Right? So next one, right, creating a dictionary. We have created the dictionary by using these curly braces separated by a comma. Values in the dictionary can be of any data type and can be duplicated. So here, see this point. In sets, when we declare a duplicate element, it is not going to be taken by the compiler. But in dictionary, we can have the values which are duplicated, right? Whereas keys cannot be repeated and must be immutable. Right? See here. And one more thing we have to cover here in the program. We cannot declare the keys with duplicate. For example, let us see here. Let us see. The key 1 is going to have the value 10. Key 2 is going to value have 20, and key 3 is going to have the value of 30. Right? So if I print this one, 10, 20, 30 will be printed on the output screen with the keys 1, 2, and 3. right, with the keys 1, 2, and 3. Now, I want to define 40 with key 1. So I want to define 40 with key 1. So unfortunately, what is going to happen is, first, a memory will be created with something called as 3 indices: index number 1, index number 2, and index number 3. First, the index number 1 will have 10, index number 2 will have 20, and index number 3 will have 30. And if I repeat the key 1 with 40, then there already key 1 has been created, so it will not create another key 1. It is going to update the value which was present in key 1. In key 1, we have the value of 10. That value will be updated to 40. Right? So when we provide duplicate keys, the old value will get updated. Right? And then let us see whether we can change the values of a dictionary or not. So A of 1 equal to something called as 50, and I want to print A again. So if I do this one, right, if I do this one, see here, initially at one index we have stored the value of 10, and in the same dictionary we have changed the value of 10 to 40, and individually we have changed the value of value of 1 to 50. So if I print the dictionary A after this assignment, it has printed 50 for the first key, 20 for the second key, and 30 for the third key. Right? Next one. Dictionary can also be created by the built-in function dict. So as we seen earlier, if we want to create a set, we have used the set function. Similar to that, we can also create the dictionary by using a function dict. So see here, instead of representing the things, right, instead of representing the things in this one, we can also use the function dict, right? Just a second. I think it is not supporting. So I will check it once again and I will let you know. So see here. So dictionary can also be created by using dict function. And then dictionary keys are case sensitive. Same name, but different cases of key will be treated distinctly. So see here, if I have declared, right, if I have declared something called as C and then B and then A. So there are 3 keys. So there are 3 keys A, B, and C, which are having the value 20, 30, and 40. Now, what I want to do is I want to declare capital C. So the key is capital C. The key is capital C. For this, I have the value of 50. So if I print A, the capital C is also be printed. So see here, the keys inside the dictionary are case sensitive, where capital A is different from small a, capital B is different, small b is different. So here in this dictionary, I have defined 2 keys, capital C and small c. Both the keys are treated distinctly. Both the keys are treated separately. Right? So this is what will happen if we declare keys of lowercase and keys of uppercase. Right? Those 2 things will be treated distinctly. And then how to access? We already accessed that. In order to access the items in the dictionary, refer to the key name. Right? Key can be used inside the square braces. There is also a method called as get that will also help in accessing the element from the dictionary. So till now we have used if we want to access the first element, we have used something called as print A of the key value, something called as B. If we use this one, the value which was in at index B will be printed on the output screen. Right, the value which was at the index B will be printed on the output screen. So 30 will be printed on the output screen. So similar to that, we can also use a function called as get in order to access the elements of a dictionary, right? So with this one, we have completed all the data types, right? We have completed the integer, floating point, and complex data type, string data type, list, tuple, boolean, dictionary, and set, right? So if anybody is having the doubts regarding these data types, you can please raise your hand. I will unmute you so that you can clear your doubts. So if nobody is having the doubts, we can close the class. So from the next class, we are going to discuss about operators in Python. From the next class, we are going to discuss about operators in Python. Till now, if anybody is having the doubts, right? So with this, we are going to, just a second.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, notes రాయడా material provide చేస్తారా?
చూద్దాం ఇంకా రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ తీసుకోండి, రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ రాయండి అందరూ. రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ రాస్తే చూద్దాం, ఎగ్జామ్ టైంలో ఏదైనా మెటీరియల్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తే చేస్తాను. రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ అయితే రాయండి, రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ రాస్తే ఏంటంటే దాన్ని రిఫర్ చేసుకోవాలన్నా కానీ ఉంటుంది. సో అండ్ ఎట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ I request you all to please practice the programs. So only the practicing can give the more knowledge for you. Just listening the classes and leaving the classes will not get you to the right way. So I request all the people to please practice. If you have the Python which was installed in your computer system, you can practice it. And if you don't have the computer system, I think all of you are having the mobile phones. Go to the online Python compiler and try to practice the programs of your own. So daily I'm explaining 2 to 3 programs, I think. So listen that Python programs will not be of so lengthy. They will be of very short, right? So compare it to C, C++ and Java programs, which will be of very lengthy. Python programs are very short. So please practice the programs of your own. Only practicing can make you in the right way. So I request you all to please practice the programs. And with this, I am going to close the session. And in the tomorrow session, we are going to start the things operators in Python. Thank you very much.